Hello, good morning. You alright? Good, I'm glad to hear it. Now, I've just watched a video by someone, and it was called Greek and Hebrew, The Great Distraction, okay, or something like that, about the use of people using and quoting the original Greek text and the original Hebrew text, the Bible, and the original Aramaic, of course, in their studies and in the translations of the Bible. It goes and speaks about Strong's Concordance, Strong's exhaustive concordance indeed, and Greek translations like Westcott and Hort, the texts and stuff. Also, the use of lexicons and dictionaries, man-made books which people use as study aids to assist them understanding the Bible. And the emphasis coming across on these videos was to show the reliability of the original King James 1611 translation of the Bible, saying how beautiful and wonderful and how accurate and reliable the King James Bible is. Now, the guy doing this video is American, and I love the way the Americans speak about the English language because they can't speak it themselves. Just kidding there. But the English language has changed far more and has its origins in England rather than the United States, which speaks a form of English. They speak American English. They certainly do not speak the Queen's English or the King's English, which is seen as the original standard English language. Now, not saying the Americans can't speak English, but your way of English is different from ours over here in the United Kingdom, just as the Australians have a different form of English. How foreign people who speak and learn English as a foreign language, their use of English and the knowledge of English vocabulary and spelling will be different once again. Sign language, which is taught to people who are deaf or unable to speak audibly and verbally, will be different from region to region. Even differences in sign language, British Sign Language and American Sign Language have some very different signs. Obviously, signs do vary according to the individual as well, because it's their communication with other people which comes in, but also the languages are different nonetheless. Now, the author of this video, the guy who actually doesn't actually give a huge number of opinions himself, actually just reads off other people's works and quotes, assuming by the context he's in agreement with them. There are some fundamental errors, I believe, that are involved in what he's and what's being said. I think you've got to see the history of the English language, and particularly English Bibles, in the context of the development of the English language. The King James Bible, obviously written in 1611, wasn't the first main authorized Bible permitted to be read in English in English churches. There were many more, and in fact the Bible, in the English translations of the Bible, have a lot to be credited for the English language as we speak it today, even as you in America would speak it. The Great Bible, which was published under King Henry VIII, now that translation of the Bible used English in what was known as the Southern dialect. There are many dialects, as there still are in England today. You have the Geordies, you have the Brummies, you have the Londoners, but the language of the King James uses what is basically known as the Southern dialect. That's also why a lot of foreigners come over here, and having learned English in their schools and their universities and colleges and that, and still have a whole lot of trouble. They go up to Birmingham and into the West Country of England, Devon and Cornwall, and they have huge problems with our accents, huge problem with our dialects and so on. Now, it was like I said, it was the Great Bible, which was published during the time of Henry VIII, which actually was printed in the Southern dialect, and that became one of the main English translations read in churches in the Christian church in England. And it meant that no matter where you were, when the vicar, the priest, and the pastor stood up and read from the Great Bible, it was in the Southern dialect. It basically established a form of English across the country, which, even if people didn't speak it, would be the written, printed, and public spoken language form of English. Now, onto the King James. The King James, actually, no one liked it. People hated it. Well, they didn't actually hate it. It wasn't that what's for Asia. It just wasn't popular. But word got back to the translators, the people who wrote it, that King James had been given a copy, and he sort of implied it was all right. So he went back to. They went to him and said, "You've read our Bible. Do you like it?" "Yeah, it was all right." He said, "Well, would you mind, awfully, as you do like it so much, actually making it official you like it?" He said, "Certainly." And he wrote a little dedication, bit in the front, and from there, all of a sudden, "This is the Bible the King reads. We should read it too." It became a status symbol. If you were going to read the Bible, you quoted the same one the King reads. It's the King's, written in the King's English. And there you go. And the King James Version became the most popular version based on the fact that the King had actually authorised it. And he said, "Yeah, it can be read in churches. I like it. I'm the head of the Church of England, and I like the King James Bible." Although he didn't actually call it the King James Bible exactly at the time, but that's how it became known as. Now, King James Bible is a very reliable, very good translation, but there are some hindrances. Okay, the King James Bible is written in King James English, which is a form of English that we do not speak quite readily today. You'll most commonly come close to that English if you're watching the Shakespearean play. Yes, there are words integrated into the English language as we have it, but that's as far as it goes. The whole dialect and so on, a lot of the words, the usage of the words as we have them today, has changed. I mean, the guy on the videos on the Great Distraction goes on to highlight it. Words like charity. Other translations of the Bible translate the word charity as love. Okay, so what is charity? Charity then, well, he doesn't actually say what charity implies. It implies sort of like love in action, not just saying you have it, but also in action. Okay, charity today in England is giving money, time, or service to an organisation or worthy cause, or perhaps to the poor or someone. We have charity shops, okay, where Oxfam, Help the Aged, Scope, which used to be the Spastic Society, the RSPCA, you name it, okay, they have shops, okay. Now, no one looks at these shops of second-hand goods being sold and thinks, I'm going to buy some goods from the love shop today. No, that doesn't come, because the meaning of the word has changed.